About a month and a half ago, I moved from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to Utah. Like you see that behind me, that's a mountain right back there. That's another mountain right there. So are those behind me. We don't have mountains in Wisconsin. And now that I've been living here for some time, I've definitely noticed some differences. So here's what I've learned about living in Utah compared to Wisconsin. So number one, travel. It definitely takes longer than you would think to get places compared to Wisconsin. And that's basically because you got to go through mountain passes, at least where I live in Utah. So if there's a town that you need to get to that's only like 30 miles away, but you got to go through like 1 or 2 mountain passes, it might take you like an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and a half to get to that town. It takes a long time to drive through mountains, and I'm really not used to that kind of thing, but I'm getting more used to it now. In Wisconsin, if you need to get somewhere that's only 30 miles away, it might only take you like 30 minutes to get there, especially if you're only traveling by interstate. Number two, weather is definitely different, at least like temperatures. So like when you're in the shade compared to the sun, there is a massive difference, at least right now, which is winter. So like in the sun, it's gonna feel super warm and you might not need a coat on or a hat or anything, and it feels great. But as soon as you get like in the shade in a canyon, it cools down a ton. Like it's a way colder temperature, and you pretty much got to put a jacket on right away because it's an instant change. It's kind of crazy, and it's definitely different than Wisconsin, where the ambient temperature around you is pretty much the same. And the canyons stay pretty chilly. The sun doesn't really get inside them, and it doesn't really heat up the canyons. So like even if the weather forecast says it's 50 degrees outside, it might feel way colder inside the canyons. And so when I'm out mountain biking or hiking or filming YouTube videos like this in canyons, I gotta make sure I've got the right clothing with me, even though it might say that it's 50 degrees outside. Number three, outdoor activities. There are way more people doing outdoor stuff around here. Like whenever I go hiking or mountain biking, I see a lot more people out on the trails. Like every time I've gone hiking, I've seen multiple people, and same with mountain biking. Whenever I've gone out, there have been several other people mountain biking, where in Wisconsin, I really wouldn't see that many other people out on the trail. And also people seem to talk about that kind of stuff more just in passing. Like I feel like I've noticed more people actually just talking about like skiing and snowboarding a lot, or hiking and like mountain biking, that kind of stuff. And there's much more of an outdoors industry. I feel like there are a lot more outdoors stores in the city that I live in than there would be in Wisconsin. Like there are way more skis and snowboards available in stores than I've ever seen in my life. It's kind of crazy. And in Wisconsin, we just don't have like a huge demand for at least downhill skiing and snowboarding. It's a thing, but there's really not the greatest areas to go do that in Wisconsin. So when I go inside an outdoors store, there are literally like piles of snowboards and skis, which is kind of crazy. I've never seen that many in my life. Number four, the difference in prices. And it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. People kind of mention the like Western tax, where things are just more expensive out west. And certain things definitely are, but not as much as I thought they would be. Number one, gas is definitely more expensive. Like when I first moved here, gas prices were like $3.19 per gallon, where in Wisconsin at that same time, it was like $2.79 per gallon. So it's definitely more expensive here. That's probably one of the like biggest differences I've seen. Like that's a pretty big difference in gas prices, I would say. Food does seem pretty much the same price. I've gone to the grocery stores and I really haven't noticed that food is much more expensive, which is good because I thought groceries were gonna be expensive here, but like it seems pretty much the same, and I can't really say I'm spending more money on food here in Utah than I was in Wisconsin. And as for alcohol, specifically liquor, it is a little bit more expensive. Beer is pretty much the exact same price, and sometimes I've found that it's even cheaper here, but liquor for like a bottle, it's like $2 to $3 more than the same bottle would be in Wisconsin. And that brings me to one of the next big points in this video, is the alcohol laws in Utah. So before you all think I'm an alcoholic, let me explain where I'm coming from in this video. In Wisconsin, drinking is like the culture. Wisconsin is one of the most lenient, if not the most lenient, when it comes to alcohol sales and alcohol laws, where Utah is debatably the most strict state when it comes to alcohol. So going from the most lenient state to the most restrictive state is a very big difference, and I can really tell. So for example, when you go out to dinner at a restaurant, they don't just give you the drink menu. They will specifically ask if you want that in addition to the regular menu. Where in Wisconsin, it's like given to you immediately if it's not already on the table. When it comes to selling alcohol in stores, grocery stores can sell beer and that kind of stuff, but it needs to be 5% and lower. You won't find anything over 5% in a grocery store. Anything over 5% is then sold in liquor stores. And all of the liquor stores are state owned. And I know that's not like an unnormal thing. Other states have that as well, but Wisconsin doesn't have that, so it was definitely different. I live in a city of roughly 70,000 people, and in the entire city, there is one liquor store, which is crazy. In Wisconsin, the same size city of like 70,000 people would have probably like 10 liquor stores at a minimum. Okay, this one is crazy and definitely the weirdest one. Anyone that I tell this thinks it's crazy as well. When you're at a bar, before you order your second drink, you have to order food. One drink, you're good. But before you order the second one, you have to get some kind of food, which is crazy. But I mean, that could literally just be like a plate of fries. It doesn't need to be like an entire meal. It could just be like an appetizer. But this is at every single bar that you go to. So if you're a typical Wisconsinite and you kind of go bar hopping throughout the night, if you order more than one drink, you need to get food at each of those bars. Like if you go to 3 bars and get 2 drinks at each bar, you need to get food at each of those bars, which is crazy. That is just, I had heard of that before moving here, but it's kind of crazy now having to think about that whenever I go out to get drinks. But also that's not to say that there isn't still like good beer to drink here. Like I like a good beer, and I've definitely tasted a handful of Utah local ones, and there are a few that I really like. To name a few, there is Elefino from Red Rock Brewing, a super good double IPA. Mike's Beer from Prodigy Brewing. It's a freaking 10.5% alcohol, thick, dark beer. It's like drinking syrup. I also like the Stargaze IPA from Wasatch Brewery and the Hazy Nosh from Uinta Brewing. Just a few that I've found that I like so far. Okay, so I know a big part of this video was alcohol, and that's kind of like one of the biggest differences, especially like I said, going from Wisconsin to Utah, that's like a very big difference. The last one I want to talk about is religion. And yes, the Mormon religion is very prevalent here. I know whenever I brought up moving to Utah, a lot of people would always bring up the Mormon religion as well, and I totally get it because I thought the same exact thing. So Mormons don't drink alcohol or coffee, but there are still bars and like cafes where you can get really good coffee. There also are those soda bars. I didn't really hear about this until just before moving here. It's like a craft brewery, but for soda, because Mormons don't drink alcohol, so they have these soda bars where they can get like fancy soda. I don't drink soda because soda is like absolutely terrible for you and debatably worse for you than alcohol. So I haven't gone to one of these soda bars. There are a lot of churches in the city that I live in and like just around Utah in general, and Sundays definitely get pretty quiet. In the center of the city that I live in is the Tabernacle, which I had to look this up before this video. It is a large church-like building that is a meeting house for the Mormon religion, I believe. If I get anything wrong, I apologize. We just don't have these kind of things in Wisconsin, and it's new to me. And there are a lot of places and landmarks that are associated with beehives and the word Deseret. I believe I got that right, Deseret, I think. But the beehive, for lack of better words, is a very big part of Mormon symbolism. And you see it and notice it all over the place. A lot of businesses will have the word beehive or Deseret associated with their business. If it's not like in the name, it'll be part of the logo. So like, for example, the Beehive Grill, which is a super good place to get food and drinks. Or Deseret Industries Thrift Store. It's kind of like a Goodwill. The beehive is the state emblem. The bee is the state insect. The state motto is industry, and there is a beehive on that logo. The state astronomical symbol is the beehive cluster. There's a beehive on the state flag, and all of the state highway road signs have a beehive on them. So there's just like a lot of beehive related things in Utah. I have some good friends and people that I've been fortunate enough to meet through YouTube, and people that work behind or have founded many outdoor brands that are some of the coolest and nicest people that I've ever met, and they are in the Mormon religion, which I don't know, I feel like I might cut that out because it should just go without saying. This is like us observing and talking about people who are Catholic. Like there's no difference, I guess. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So honestly, those are all of the major things that I have noticed that are the biggest differences between Wisconsin and Utah. If any of you guys watching are also from Utah and there's something huge that I'm like, and obvious that I'm completely forgetting, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm sure there's something completely obvious that I'm missing in this video. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.